So welcome to channel guys. So today in this tutorial we are going to see how can we validate the request body for different invalid values. So for example in this create booking request we have these parameters. So now let's say if you want to verify whether this particular request body takes the invalid parameter and returns the uh, error message or not. So meaning, so let's say for example in this request body, the first name, the data type is string. What if we pass instead of string, if we pass the first name as a integer value, let's say this one. The second time, if we pass instead of integer, if we pass double, okay. So likewise, we can pass invalid value like boolean, let's say true. So now this in these three different condition, this booking create booking should return the error message and it should not create the booking. So this, how can we create such a request in Jmeter? So we will see that. Okay, so let's hop over to Jmeter. Okay, so we already created this thread group in previous video. So let's duplicate this. Okay, and I'm going to rename this create booking and invalid first name. I'm renaming this to create booking with invalid first name. Okay, now here in the request, so here I'm going to modify this first name because I don't want to enter a string here. So I'm just going to keep this without double quotes. And now here in the user parameter, I need only one user. I'm going to delete this second user. So I deleted this. Now while creating the booking, I need other parameters, but I don't need the first name here. But I'll keep it as it is. Instead of that, I'm going to override this. So how I'm gonna do that? So I'm going to duplicate this, okay, user parameter. Now here in this user parameter, I'm going to remove the another variables which are not required by clicking on delete button, delete variables. So I'm going to delete that and I need a first name, right? So let's take this first name and add variable, and here it is. Now here I need values as a user. So for first user, I'm going to add, let's say, integer value. Second user, I'm going to add double value. Third time, I'm going to add boolean data type. Okay, and fourth user I'm not required, so I'm going to delete that user. So these three input I'm going to supply. Invalid input I'm going to supply for the first name field. So here, if you remove this first name, that is also fine. If you don't remove, that is also fine, because anyways that is going to override with this first name. Okay, now here we have a three user and we need to also update this number of threads to 3. Okay, so I'm going to update this 3. Now let's check whether it's taking this request like this as expected in our request body. Okay, so let's start running this thing. Okay, now see this, the first request. Okay, 1 2 3, this is coming because I added the counter VA. Okay, so now let's see this, the first request. Yeah, see this, now this first name is 1 as pickup, and the response that you get the internal server error, but it is failure because it is expecting the booking ID and first name. So yes, our test case is pass here, but we need to update the assertion that we need to add, we need to remove this. Okay, booking ID Okay, we don't need this bin shell assertion, and we also don't need this. Instead of that, we can add a response assertion, and in the response assertion we can have a response code assertion as a 500. That's equal 500. And also we can add the response data, that is a internal server error. We can also duplicate this response message, that is a text response, and response message as well, both are the one and the same thing, right? So we can assert that way. So let's run this and we'll see one more time. Okay, so now this time you see this is pretty much fast. Okay, this coming as a red. Why? Because this response code is 500. This is the reason it is coming as a red. But if you want this to be treated as a green, how I can do that, we'll see in that next tutorial. But for now, let's see the request. First request, it is a first name as well as expected, that is an integer. Then second request, that first name treated as a double, and then third time this first name as treated as a boolean. Okay, so likewise we can verify the other request parameters like last name, total price, deposit paid. Like we can duplicate, we can add first name, instead of first name we can add last name, and here also instead of first name we can add last name. So we don't need to update this user parameter. The first user parameter will remain same, and this second user parameter, the key we need to update. That's it. So we can happily run, and we can verify this thing here, right? So here also, okay, so now this time it is giving. Okay, so we need to update this request body also. Instead of this, okay, so yeah, see, now it will come because we form the wrong request body. Okay, now let's check. Okay, now here you see the first name coming properly, the last name is coming as a integer, second time the last name is coming as a double, and third time the last name coming as a boolean value. So likewise we can verify the response for invalid data, that is expected response or not coming, and we can verify for all the fields with the different user parameters. So single thread uh, group is can assert your all the data types, and we can do for the remaining parameters as well, so that we can save over time. And if you write in the other postman or in other API automation tool, then it's a lot of efforts. Okay, you need to create one more request, and you need to verify. But here in the thread group you need to give the number of thread users, and in the user parameter you need to give that users that you want to have it. Okay, so this way we can verify. So I hope you like this video. Do let me know in the comment section if you have any question. Thank you so much for watching this entire video, guys. Have a great day. Bye, take care.